everyone, and welcome back to another part of the Build With Me series. So I completely forgot to mention in the last part that I had a few requests to know what the color number was of this siding. So the color number of the siding, for if you want to use it in your game, is FFEDC4, and that's right here on the Create a Style panel here. So it's FFE9C4, and the brick is using, let's see, which one is it using? I hate how you can't really see or know which one exactly that it's using. I'm not sure exactly what pattern it is, but its number is A48D6A. But I'm not sure what pattern up here it is. It's one of these just plain stone ones. I'm not sure. And then I tend to do different colors. So that's one color because that way you can get like darker and lighter ones. Another one is 9D8766. There's another one that's a 978162. And then looks like that one's the same as the one before, 9D8766. So those are the colors so far. All I do for the siding for the white is just solid white. FF, there's 6 Fs, FF. That gives you the white, and that's usually what I always use. So those are currently the colors that I have going on here. Next step that I usually do, I like the way the house is looking. The house is definitely looking pretty nice. So it's got some character. It does have a little bit of, interesting things about it. I would have liked to maybe make it a little more interesting the front like we have going on here on the side and the back, but we are limited on space, and unfortunately when you're limited on space, there's not always much you can do about it. So let's go ahead and put in the stairs. I usually just pick a set of stairs. I mean, it really doesn't matter because I usually recolor them anyway. So let's go with, I don't like having the railing because I like to pick my own. So just testing something. I thought I saw something once when I did this, but maybe not. I thought it would automatically, if I clicked one of the buttons on the keyboard, it would give me the foundation underneath. I thought I had seen that somewhere. Nope, that's definitely not what I wanted. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be doing it. I thought I saw it though. Do it one time. Yeah, maybe let's shrink this down a little bit. Yeah, see, there's the foundation. It brought it in. But maybe since it's down here, it won't. Yeah, it's not doing it. Okay, so we're just gonna have to go back and do it the way I've always done. And to create the little bit, I like to call it like a foundation piece, that way my stairs look a little bit more sturdy and not quite as rickety. You're going to bring open your cheat menu, so hit Control, Shift, and C at the same time. And we're going to type in constrain floor elevation space false. That's the same cheat we used to do the garage over here, and what that's going to do is allow us to manipulate putting a wall next to the foundation. So what we're going to do is we're going to trick the game into thinking that the stairs we're putting in is inside the house, when in all actuality it's not actually inside the house. So I don't want to mess this up over here too much. Let's kind of have to be careful a little bit doing it. It's going to get down to the bottom here. We'll just connect it here. That shouldn't do any damage to the garage wall because I don't want to have to mess with that. So you're going to have it look a little weird like that. That's fine. You can still place your stairs as long as you're not trying to use this square here. It would defeat the purpose anyway if you were, because you wouldn't get the foundation if you put it right next to your wall. So you can take and put the wall far enough away from the staircase that it's not going to touch it at all. And then we're going to go ahead and place it in. So I wanted 3 steps wide. There we go. And then that, because it thinks it was inside the house, will give it a little bit of the foundation here. You can kind of see it if I zoom in. See how it's got the lattice right there? That's what I wanted. I didn't want it to be empty. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy. I like to make it the same color as the foundation itself. So we'll go ahead and put that in right there. Okay, so there's that. Sometimes I have an idea on where I want to put my stairs back here, but I don't always. You can't put them on a diagonal, which really stinks. I wish you could, but you can't. But I think I'm going to put a set over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline it in since I already got the cheat in. And we might as well just go ahead and put a set of stairs over here as well. Somewhere. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. So we'll go ahead and put some stairs in. Go ahead and do them now. So we want 2 wide for over here. And then I tend to like to have things centered. I'll just go with 2 wide here as well. I think that'll probably look best. I was thinking bigger, but I don't know if I really wanted to go 4 stairs wide. So I think that'll be a little bit too big. So let's just go ahead and get rid of this. Sometimes the foundation will fall back down, as you can see. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Don't get upset. We still have our cheat on. So go to your terrain tools, level terrain, and then we're going to just go ahead and level it all back out. And then that takes care of it. And we have our foundation pieces put into our stairs right here that we can now recolor to match. There we go. Awesome. Okay, now what you want to do is make sure you get this cheat off right away. So a little trick on how I just do that, where it automatically just floods it in. I don't have to type it in. This is what I wanted to show you last time, but it wasn't working. I don't know why it wasn't working. So you're going to hit Control-Shift-C, and if the cheat that you want is the very last one that you did, all you have to do is hit the arrow key up, and it will put in the one you just did. So I don't have to type everything all in again. I can just erase the false and change it to true, and I'm good again. If I want to go back to that cheat again, and I haven't done anything different, I just bring it up, hit the arrow key, and I can of course change it there again if I wanted. So that's how I do that. Let's go ahead. Normally what I do next is I start figuring out windows and doors. Let's go ahead and get our garage door in so it can look like a garage. What does this look like? That I don't think is a garage door. But I do kind of like this one. I have been using it more and more, but I don't know if I want that one for this house. What does this look like? That's more modern. I don't think this is really a modern house. I don't normally do modern, but that's kind of cute. Let's go with that one. Let's go ahead and make it white. So again, all I really do is go into my miscellaneous. I already have it saved. And if you want to know how to save a color, when it's a new color that you've changed, here, let me go ahead and change it to something else. You will get this option here to save. You just click save and it'll save it up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click and go say I've already got it saved. So I'm just going to go ahead and start moving all of that down. Ooh, maybe we don't want to do that. We want to keep them little dots, whatever those are. There we go. That'll work. Okay, let's go ahead and do some windows. Do we have... So I wish we could center them, because a 2 window would look great there, but I don't want it to go all the way over to the side. I know we have a couple that do go in the center of the grid, but not very many. Like, I don't want anything that big. I mean, that's huge. Let's take a look at it. I don't think I want anything that big. No, no. That stuff's too big. Let's see. Because we have some of these. See, I just don't want it to be that big. I just want... Those are from the store pack. It says Kittle View. I think it's from the daycare center, I believe, is where that comes from. I hate picking out windows. This probably is the longest. I probably spend more time trying to find a window than I ever do for anything else. I want one that goes in the center. None of these. I don't think I have a 2-pane. Oh, those do. See, I can't. Let's go ahead and put in move objects on. Yep, that's what I had a feeling of. No matter what I do. See, that's what I wanted. I want 2 windows in the center like that. I think that would look best. That ain't gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. That's why I wish they were already connected. If it was 2 windows connected and it sat in the center, then that, you know, would work. So one thing bad about making odd numbered blocks or squares on the grid line on wide, because then you run into this problem where you can't center the window. Wish we could. Yeah, I know that one's not centered. Some of these, some are. Like this window here is in the center. But I want 2 windows, not 1. See, I can't put the other one right there because it glitches out. And that wouldn't look good anyway. I don't want shutters. See, I don't want to do 3 windows like that. That just doesn't look right to me. Where's that one window at? Can't remember where it's at. Oh my gosh, here it is. How bad is that gonna look? May not look too bad. Sometimes I hate doing windows. I don't like the way that looks. Normally what I end up doing is I end up picking, where's that window at? Right here. The high rise, oh my gosh. Raise high the window. It's normally the one I end up picking and putting here because all in all is probably the best looking. I mean, it does. It just looks the best and it fits well, but I get tired of always using it. I feel like I use the same windows all the time. I was curious if I can put something up there. Let's go down here and figure out our door. And what kind of door do we want here? Do we want one of the big fancy doors? We get 1 door. I think we only have 1. That is 3 tiles wide. And then we run into the problem of not being able to put any kind of windows over there. And I tend to like windows. I like lots of windows. That may not look too bad. And if you have the cheat on and it does something goofy, I mean, it doesn't work with the doors, but if I... Oh, for goodness sake, there we go. Get that one to disappear. There we go. You see how this window kind of goes away in a way because I have the move objects cheat on. just change your floor height, like which floor you're on. You know, key your page up, page down, and that will change your floors, and that will take care of it. The doors, it doesn't work for the doors, but just double click the door and that'll fix it as well. So, but yeah, I think those will probably look fine. Now what I'm going to do, because I don't like sitting here and having to recolor all these windows all over again once they're already on the house, I'd rather just copy them already colored. So we're going to just go ahead and color them all white. White just seems to look, I think white looks the best. It helps stand out, especially since our house isn't white. Now if I was using white, which I don't make a white house very often, but if I were to make a white house, I would probably do a different color of window, just because then you wouldn't hardly be able to see the window. So there we go. Awesome. Alright, so those are already done. Let's see. Do we want a window over here for the garage? There we go. And we can probably put shutters. I'd like to put shutters on that window. So those are in decor, curtains. I think it's these ones. Nope, them are the big ones. We don't want those ones with the smaller ones. Right here. Shout out shutters. Now the thing you're going to notice is when you put them in, they don't line up right. I have a mod, I can't think off the top of my head right now what they're called, but it's a mod that allows me to move things like shutters, curtains, counters, I guess it's more or less the cabinets, up and down on the wall. You don't have to have this mod in order for this house when I upload it for you to have this. I've tested it, and if I move these and place them down and you do not have those mods, you will still have, I mean, the shutters will still be in the right place. The curtains will still be in the same place. If I move a cabinet up and down somewhere on the wall, your cabinet will be, you know, moved up and down. But just keep in mind, if you change that cabinet or the shutters or something, you do something with it, you're not going to be able to put it down in the same place without that mod. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab it. I'm going to hit Alt. This is for the mod, of course. And then I'm going to hit my left mouse button and I'm just going to drag it up until it meets where I want it. And I really like having this mod because I can do things like this and I don't have to worry about whether or not you guys will get what I do, because you will have everything that I have done. So I mean, it'll show up the same way. So there's those windows. Now I like to put the wall or the roof and everything up, because if I try putting windows in right here, it might look okay, but then when I put the roof on, as you can see, you can't really see that area, so it doesn't really do any good. So let's go back to the build mode. And let's go back to windows and let's just see what we can put over here. I don't think we might have to lower the window a little bit. I think maybe. I'm not sure if I like that though. Because honestly, it looks like two beady eyes right here, and then this is like the nose, and this is a mouth, and I hate it when a house looks like a face. Maybe nobody else sees that, but I see that, and I can't stand that. So we are not gonna do that. Let's see, what else can we? I wish our windows were more in the center. I wish we could do. I wish the windows would go on the grid, and then, you know, go in between two grids. I wish they were just set that way, but they're not. So having more windows in the front of this house, I'm not sure. I can probably use this one here for there, and we can just recolor it. That might look nice. See, that's the only thing I would have to say that I miss about custom content when I used to have it, because you had so many more options because you could get so many different windows, and they did have them where they were in the center of the grid. I mean, you could find all kinds of matching windows, and they even had, you could even get custom content that would match the windows in the game. So I have to say that is something I do miss, unfortunately, but I probably won't ever go back to custom content. I wish I could put some windows there, but I don't think we're going to have anything that's going to look right unless we do something like this. What does that look like? Now that don't look as bad. I could probably handle that. So let's go ahead and color them since those are new windows. So I'm just grabbing these dots here. I'm pushing the right mouse button and I'm dragging them over until the object that I want highlights. And then I'm releasing my mouse button, and that drags this entire color palette over to that window, and we'll recolor that entire window. So I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think of this window with the shutters. I kind of like these little windows, but let me know if you like this window here, because I don't know. I don't know if I like it, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I'm still not sure about that. I also do not have a name for this house at this time. So if you have a name that you would like, go ahead and post it in the comments below. And if, you know, if I like the name as well, because I'm awful at naming houses, then that will be the name of the house, because at this time it does not have a name. So go ahead and move that up. There we go. It is currently a nameless house. We're going to go ahead, since this here is also, wait, actually no, that's 4 tiles. Never mind, that's 4 grid lines. So that means I can use a different window and it'll be centered, because I like things to be centered. Okay, let's go with, do we want that window? It's kind of a big window, but sometimes I think the windows are too big. But I think the window will be fine. So let's go ahead and get the color palette of that one and just drag it over. I find this loads faster than trying to recolor each individual one. So that's why I usually just copy, because it seems to load faster. So I think I'll like that. It would be nice if our shutters though would be a right side and a left side, because then I could put shutters on those, but I can't. So we're gonna go ahead with this window because it's a smaller window and this is a smaller space. And then I'm going to copy this one and place it down. Now I don't have to adjust the height because I copied it and it copies the height as well. As long as you're not changing the level of the floor, it will copy, you know, if you're not changing floors, it will copy the same height as well. So that makes that nice that it does that. So I'm not sure. See, sometimes when it comes to windows, I'm not always certain on what I want because I don't know what my floor plan is going to be. And the kitchens need to have a window that's not quite as tall. That way the counters can go underneath. So sometimes I'll put windows and then I'll decide, oh, well, I want the kitchen here, so I can't have that window there no more because it's too long, type of thing. So here, see, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't think this is going to be a kitchen because there's a fireplace there. So let's just go ahead and copy these windows and we'll put them over here. Oops. I think I just put in an extra window, but we'll delete that later. And then of course we have this accent piece of this fireplace, which is pretty. And And then this window, I like using this window on the dormers that are two grid lines wide because it sets in the middle. It's not store content, so people are more likely to have it than the one for store content. And it looks nice, so I do use this one. It's this one right here, and honestly I don't know what pack that is. I want to say World Adventures, but I'm probably wrong. And then you have one from the store, which is right here. It's a tropical wood window with shutters. It's just bigger. So as you can see, it's three tiles wide, so it's bigger, but I don't think I've ever used it, to be honest. I don't think I've ever used it. And it doesn't even go on three of the tiles right to begin with. It's actually 4 tiles. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. I'll probably have doors exiting out. I think right here would be a good place to have a door. So I have no idea what my floor plan is going to be looking like. Most of the time the floor plan turns out okay, but I can't always guarantee that. I like to have my favorite doors I use all the time. I probably should change them up, but I tend to use these ones all the time. They just, I don't know. They remind me of French, not really French doors because they both swing out. Or I guess, yeah, that would be French doors because they swing out. Yeah, I don't know. Sliding doors are just 70s. Like right here. Got your sliding doors. That's just so 70s and 80s. Not really my favorite time period of houses. So, since this wall is not quite as fancy, I'm going to use to help fill in the space because it is 3 grid lines or grid squares, whatever you want to call it, whatever, wide. We're going to use the bigger window, but we're going to use shutters, and that'll help fill in the space. We do have one set of shutters that are taller, so that should work. So let's see. I've never used them for this window, so I don't know if in this window it'll be alright. So it's the shy shutters here. So let's move them upward. You know, those actually don't look bad on this window. They actually don't look too bad. But I don't want it. Let's go with usually the window I usually use them with. Usually the skinnier window. Same window that I used on the front, which, why don't we just go ahead and copy it. These windows here, the raise high window. No, I guess those aren't the, what windows do I normally use? Is it this one? No. There's a window that I normally, is it this one? Ah, I think it was this one right here. Because it's a little bit more narrow, but it's taller. Oh, for goodness sake. I hate how it does that. Rotate, you stupid window. I think I have an extra window in there somewhere. Yep, right there it is. That happens. Alright, so let's go ahead and raise these up. There we go. The shutters are a little tall for it, but I think it looks good. I think it'll be okay. There we go. And that just kind of helps fill in the space and not quite make the window seem quite so small. So let's just go ahead and recolor. So we're going to copy this grid line or this color palette here and just move it over. Now sometimes what I also do is I'll change the color of the shutters to kind of be like a darker brown. But this time around I'm deciding not to. I'm just going to keep them white. So there's those. I might put a door or something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet with these spaces here. So I'm just going to leave them go until I figure it out. Sometimes I forget though. I will forget to add whatever it is I was wanting. So, let's go ahead and go with this window again. Over here. And here. And then let's copy the shutter. There we go. Oops. Shutters are a major pain, I'm telling you. They look nice, but they are quite a pain. There we go. So they appear to be in the right spot. Now let's try to get this one on. There we go. Yep, they appear to be in the right spot. There we go. So that looks nice over there. Can we fit a small window? It's like hitting this house over here because I'm playing it. I'm building this in the From the Ground Up series save. And I have a house back there that keeps running into. Yeah, we could probably put that window there. That'll probably be okay. So let's just go ahead and copy this over. There we go. Okay. I think that's it for the windows. Let's go ahead and get some porch railings and stuff in. So let's go ahead and do, since we have a roof, you're not really going to see the decoration. If you were to pick one of like these kind here, you're not really going to see it. I mean, that's door content, but as you can see, you can't see it. So there's really no point in having some of them fancier ones unless you can see them. Oh, what is this? I don't think I've ever seen. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. That's kind of cool. That's actually really cool. That would be classic sinking city fence. I don't know what store pack that is, but that is really neat. I don't think I've ever seen that one. I've never looked at it. Let's go with that one. Of course, you can see. I tend to go with basic ones. Sometimes I do this Buena Cerca one. It's base game. I usually use the mullet fencing sometimes if I want like different colors, or I'll use that inside. I use the static fencing sometimes and this gentle fence. I use a lot of this base game stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this one. And then what I'm going to do, because I want that to be a different color, is I'm going to change the color of it now because recoloring fencing sucks. So figure out your color of your fence before you go anywhere else with it. So we'll go ahead and put that in right there. And then we'll go ahead and do the fencing since we've got the color. And just put them in. And what I like about this one, whoops, is I can place my fence post where I want it. So I don't want a fence post, say like every square like that. That static fencing is going to make it every square. So I'm going to make it every 2 squares. I just think that looks a little bit better. And then if you come across a 3 square like this, what I do is I start at the staircase and I go towards the house. And I just feel that the smaller section just looks better by the house. So we're going to go. That almost looks too big. Diagonals are always wider. So we might go every, just because that is stretched out a little bit farther. That doesn't look too bad. A lot of times my stairs, I don't pick white because it just does not, it don't look good. But I normally do, I do get kind of white. So we're going to go to the woods, which we're already in. And I usually end up picking, let's get the color down far enough so we can see it. Oh, wrong direction. That one's facing the wrong one. Okay, this way. So I usually go with this. What I do though is I turn it more towards the white, but then I'll darken it up a little bit so we can kind of see some of the wood grain a little bit better. There we go. So you can kind of see the wood grain so they look like wooden steps. And I'm just going to move this color over to that. There we go. So that's usually what I end up doing. Or I'll match it to whatever I do the deck out of, which I haven't done the deck. So the steps could possibly ultimately still change in color. So go ahead and do that one. Did it not go over? I dragged it over, but I think I tried moving too soon. There we go. Okay, so back here, let's go ahead and do our deck boarding. So it's going, you can do this in a few different ways. You can either go into the wood here and choose a wood and lay it down like so, or you can go into, I like to pick the carpet, and this very first one here does not have any kind of built-in texture, and put that down, and then you're going to go into the create a style. So you're going to click on that, and then you can change over here and change it to the wood. Whoops, not metals. Go to the woods here. Now when you're picking your decking to make it look more realistic, you want to pick ones that already have in the picture, you can see where the planks start and stop. Those will give you a more realistic. If you pick one that just is the grain like this, that's not gonna look very good. Here, I'll show you what that whole thing will look like because it doesn't have planks. Okay, you see that? How it doesn't have individual planks? So it almost looks like you have like sheet board or something down for your deck, like particle board or something, and that you wouldn't want to walk on that. That doesn't look nice. So you're going to pick one of these that has the different, like you have this one, which I use once in a while, interior. You could use it out here, but I think it looks better if you use one that's got different sizes, like this one. This one makes a nice deck, so we'll just kind of lighten that up if we can. Sometimes trying to get them to be the color that you want is quite tricky. It's still kind of pink. Let's go over here, darken that up a little bit. Yeah, or you can do them like that, which I don't really like. I think this time I'm going to go with a wood texture over here, but that is an option to do. You can use those textures. Let's go with, you can do all, there's all kinds of different ones. You can get real fancy and do one of those. Too bad they didn't have like the herringbone style, I think is what it's called, where they're like, it's hard to explain. You almost have to look it up. Herringbone, is that what it's called? That's really nice. Too bad they didn't have it. All we have is diagonal. Let's go with, I think usually just pick this one. That's usually my default, and a lot of times what I do, because I like that color in general, is I'll take this color and just pull it down on top of the stairs. So now we need to change this bottom one here because that's the one that's on the steps, and as you can see the grain is going the wrong way. So we're going to find it, which is right here, and its corresponding one is this one. So then we're just going to move the color over to it. There we go. And that's going to be the color of our steps. That's usually the one I end up picking. I usually end up going with that one. There we go. So let's go ahead and copy. And put that down here. There we go. And I just noticed that I have a window in here. Extra window. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Yes. And I think for right now, that is probably where we're going to stop. Like I said, let me know in the comments below if you think this window right here in the top, this one right here, should stay or if we should get rid of it. So there it is with the window. Here it is without. So let me know what you think. Should we keep the window or should we take it out? And if you have any house names, go ahead and leave them down below as well. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.